asking me.
So my number 6 game of the year or top 10 of the year is Risk of Rain 2.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, an indie game. I had so much fun with this game, man. Like I still think about firing it up and playing it even some more, even right now. Like it was so much fun. Like I know many of you probably never played the original Risk of Rain, but it was a 2D side scroller, right? And so you had your little dude, and it's a roguelike. So you're collecting power ups and you're collecting loot, and you're applying these pieces of loot to your guy. And they might be a missile pack, you might get like a more powerful weapon, or you might move faster or jump higher, or whatever power ups you're getting. Crit more, things like that, bleed an enemy, all different sorts of power ups you can get. And it's all based on like a timer. And so you have like a time limit before the difficulty ups. And so you're trying to find that balance between trying to go and collect loot, get enough upgrades, but not to go too long before you move on to the next level, because the difficulty will raise and it makes it harder and harder to complete the game. So that's what's kind of unique about this game. But what's so much fun about it, man, is just the power-ups. And what was cool about this one too, compared to the first one, was I had a lot easier time unlocking all the characters. And every character has like a super unique and different way of playing the game. And like it was just so much fun, like unlocking a character and grabbing him and jumping into the world and seeing how far I can get. And like sometimes you get the dopest combination of abilities, man, and you're just like slaying waves of enemies, and the enemies become like pretty heavy. You just have waves of them, and you're just like slaying them all, man. It's super fun, super exciting. Like it's fully 3D. This one's fully 3D versus the first one.
Nice.
I had just such a blast playing this game. It was so much fun slaying enemies. Getting super OP and powerful with all your power ups, and you can really keep going forever. Just keep collecting power ups. You can become like retarded strong. Like it was just a ton of fun. I had a blast with it. I still have it in my collection to this very day. I will play it some more, I'm sure. But yeah, it's really fun. I recommend it.
Yeah. So after you told me about this game, I went back and they offered it free sometime this year on the Xbox. So I'm like kicking myself like, dang, I should have added it to. I think it was on Xbox Live. It was like one of the monthly free games. But I went back and I watched this, and this looks like one of those games that you can just fire up anytime. Like you could take a break and come back to it, and it's just because it's like a roguelike style game. These are those ones that are timeless, And I really like the 3D aspect. From 1 to 2, they really. This is like, I guess what you guys were hoping Pokemon did.
Yeah, huge
you know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
The 1 to 2, number 1 looks pretty good, but number 2, like that definitely looked up my alley.
Yeah, I think you would really like it. And you're exactly right, man. Like it's a game like, I'm just going to do a run really quick. I'm going to hop in, I'm going to do a run really quick, And, I'm going to try this character. I haven't tried this character yet, and I'm going to try to see how far I can get with this guy. And it can become really methodical, because there can be some hairy situations, where like the enemies are piling up and you got to run away and try to kite them and try to get them together and see how well you can, use your powers and abilities in a way to really tackle the challenge of killing all these guys. So, man, I really recommend it if you guys are into that kind of roguelike stuff. I really love roguelikes. They're one of my favorite genres of games. And so Risk of Rain was one of the best ones this year.
Nice.
Wasn't the best, but it was one of the best ones this year.
Nice. So we're on number 6, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. So my number 6, guys, I know I talked about this game in the past. Maybe a little bit more than I should have, but I really love this game. And this is World of Warcraft, the Shadowlands expansion.
I know it was World of Warcraft.
So the reasons why I like the Shadowlands expansion and why I think it was Blizzard's stepping back in the right direction is for a couple reasons.
Okay.
Right? Number 1 is it's alt friendly. Unlike BFA, you were hindered so much if you wanted to play multiple characters because
Sorry, what's BFA?
Battle for Azeroth. Sorry. It was a previous expansion.
Right.
Previous expansion, you had items that you had to accumulate currency for. So, for example, you had your legendary cape and you had your Heart of Azeroth. So these are 2 items that it rewarded you for playing over time. So if you started a new guy, you were really behind on that guy, and a lot of your power level comes directly from those 2 items. So it made playing multiple characters a huge time investment.
That's interesting. I only stuck to 1, so I wouldn't know that. But yeah, okay.
So they removed that completely. There's none of that junk. in this new game. Also, what they did was they made the storyline very, very linear. But once you played the storyline once, when you start a new character and you go to the new zones, it gives you an option. Do you want to continue the storyline, or do you want to unlock all the zones? Do you want to unlock all the world quests and play as you please? So I love that, because sometimes going through the same motions multiple times
kind of gets boring.
It can turn you off from wanting to play. But for you to unlock all the zones, unlock all the world quests, right when you get to this new place, it really lets you do what you want to do. And that freedom, in MMOs, it's a world, so you want to do things as you want to do it. So it added that. It made playing alts fun again.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the bummers about like Destiny 1, was that when you wanted to have 3 different characters, you had to play through their specific storyline the whole way before you were able to unlock everything and then just be able to play like regularly with people. So that's what sucks. So that's pretty cool that they have that open.
The next reason why I like Shadowlands so much is they finally added honor vendors back. So in the past World of Warcraft, when you play PvP, you get honor, a currency.
Okay.
Right? And then or conquest points. You get these points and you can buy gear.
Okay.
Now in the last expansion, they removed that. It was all RNG. So you play matches, will you get an item? Who knows? Okay. And then every week when you play a certain amount, you'll unlock an award at the next week. So you can get a chest with a random item. It could be an item you already have. It could be whatever. So you play for a week and you get a good item. And then every match, it's random if you're going to get something or not.
Right.
So they took all that junk away and they gave you honor again. So when you play, you're rewarded for what you play. And you use that honor, you buy items. And the cool thing about these items is they level up with you over the expansion. So when you buy a weapon, when you buy a staff or an axe, as the expansion progresses, every week you can use honor to make it stronger, make it stronger. As you level up your covenant, which is like another thing, you can make the weapon stronger. So it's not like you're just buying a gear and you throw it away and get a new one. You're actually building up your items over time. So it makes you feel like you're progressing in the game. One of the things I hate is when you just get legendaries. It takes the legendary aspect away when you get one every 5 minutes. But this is, you're building up and you're making it. So when you have a high, strong item, you made it that, we may have the same axe, but mine is rank 7 and yours is rank 2. So it actually makes the items a little more special.
Especially to you, because you put the work in, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's the second reason why I like it. The third reason why I like it is because in Battle for Azeroth, they added this mechanic where every week, if you do Mythic Dungeons, if you do PvP, you get a chest every week that gives you a random item. How it is now is you unlock multiple options. So if you do PvP, if you do raiding, and you do Mythic Dungeons, at the end of the week, you're going to have 3 different chests. And the more you do of one, it'll give you multiple chances at a different item. So it sucks if you play every week and you keep getting a trinket. Well, trinkets are the best. If you keep getting a cloak, for example. But now, the more you do of different aspects, you still get 1 item per chest, but you can get multiple items to choose from. So they made it a lot less RNG, and they reward you for doing multiple things. Because let's say you only wanted to do PvP, you would only get 1 chest. Whereas now, if you dabble in a Mythic Dungeon, if you dabble in a raid, and then you do PvP, you'll get 3 chests, and you'll get multiple per. So it actually rewards you.
They didn't encourage you to do other things.
Correct.
Right. They encourage you to just bottleneck yourself into one thing. Yeah.
So they actually encourage you for playing the game. So I love when they make people maybe step out of their comfort zone, because they give you incentive. So for these reasons, I didn't cover the covenant and things because you guys can. I'll let you experience that for yourself. It's a good feature. Torghast was a great feature. They added legendaries back. So they
a whole slew of reasons.
They took 2 steps back with Battle for Azeroth, the last expansion, and then now they're progressing back. So for those reasons, I think Shadowlands is a good expansion.
Yeah, I commend Blizzard, man. They're constantly trying to innovate, and they're tinkering around all the time. Like every new expansion, they're adding new interesting things. Like I love the corruption that they did in Battle for Azeroth, but I mean that's just an idea. and they decide to try it. And some ideas work and some ideas don't, you know, and I commend them for recognizing what works and recognizing what doesn't, and they do.
Yeah.
They do. They move their games in the direction that they think is best. And so I do want to play Shadowlands. I'm sure at some point in time next year I'm going to play it because I wanted to play Torghast a lot. I'm looking forward to playing that. I had fun with Battle for Azeroth. The time I did play it, I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed my time with it. So yeah, good choice.
Yeah. So my number 6 is actually Genshin Impact.
Okay.
Nice.
So the reason why it was number 6 for me is just because I thought it was the fact that it was a great looking game that had taken some aspects, you know, from Breath of the Wild and all that. Had cool little abilities and the way that they were kind of playing with like elements and stuff, you know, with making them specific characters and having a bunch of different characters to work with. But also the fact that it was free. So that's reason why it gets higher up on my list than all the others, is because it was a free game that was just as enjoyable as all the other games that I've played this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like that game had voice acting out the wazoo. It had so many cutscenes. I was just, you know, I wanted to just, you know, get past them just because I wanted to keep playing. But the fact that they took their time and had people voice act all of these characters, you know what I mean? I don't think there was one character that just had, you know, wording or writing above its head and never said a thing. You know what I mean? The fact that that map is huge, that there's so many different abilities, there's all these different characters that you can use and that you can like improve on and all that stuff. Like
it's a AAA game, man.
Yeah, it's so many different ways to play the game. Like, you know, you don't just have like these set amount of characters. Like you can come across like 4 or 5 characters with like the same elements. So you could switch it up. You know, you can have your team however you want it. You know, you could probably have all like strictly spellbook users with every element if you can search out there for them. I mean, you probably have to do like your little RNG rolls with the chests and whatnot, you know, and spend a couple of ducats there. But, you know, the option is there. And the fact that you don't have to put a dime into it and still have fun with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need the powerful character that's from there because I can't actually get him in the game.
Right.
Some way, somehow. I can get him in the game just by using the in-game currency and then doing that RNG roll instead of just paying the actual $20 and then trying to fish for him or whatever with that lunchbox special. But I just thought that the graphics, the gameplay, the combat, the fact that it's free, like all of those things bottled and wrapped up into one package.
Almost top 5 worthy, huh?
Almost top what?
I said almost top 5 worthy. Yeah.
Yeah, almost top 5
really
worthy,
good
because it was a great game.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they keep on adding stuff to the world, keep on expanding it, adding, you know, new characters with new abilities, different things like that. I know that the little loot boxes that they had were kind of like limited to a certain number of characters that they have, but if you can potentially encounter like all of those characters and maybe eventually get them, that would be cool too.
Yeah.
You know, and upgrading the characters and stuff like that. I wasn't able to do too much of that because it's like a lot of grinding that you got to do. But I just thought it was a fantastic game, and I'm looking forward to anything else that developer decides to drop.
Absolutely.
Because if they follow this same motto where they produce like a AAA type of game for free 99 because they just want you to play it and you can buy stuff or not, then I want to give them like all my support, because if they're able to do that and then other people see that they're
moving
doing
the industry
that, they
forward,
can
man.
possibly change the way that people look at the games. You know what I mean? Like you don't have as much gripes about a game if it was free.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You've taken it for face value. It was a free game. So you could choose to put a couple more hours into this game, or you could choose to leave it alone. It's your choice because it was free. You didn't pay for it. You didn't drop $20. You didn't drop $5. You didn't drop $1. You know what I mean, on the game. So it's just like, enjoy it for what it is. You know what I mean? If it had a couple of bugs or something like that, you know, it'd be like, oh, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's free. But the fact that game had like no issues whatsoever on it, it's just crazy. There's games, out, that just came out that are getting shit on because there's so many bugs and issues in
You're
the
paying
game.
full price for those games.
Yeah, and you're paying full price for those things. And this one you didn't pay a dime for. And there's not one frame drop. There's not one glitched out face or item or anything like that. You know what I mean? There's like no issues in the game.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
Yeah, so that's
Awesome
why that one felt noteworthy enough to be
sure.
my number 6,
For
as
sure.
opposed to like 7 or 8 or
We were
whatever,
close. I
just
had mine
because-
at 7.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
just
felt pretty
because-
similar about it.
Right. Just because it was just like I probably played a couple less games than you,
Yeah.
to be able to put on my list, but that one I felt it deserved like a
pretty
proper
high spot,
spot.
yeah.
It didn't get number 5, but it was borderline there.
For sure.
It was a
for
great
reason.
game, man.
It's
Really
on my
neat.
list too, guys.
I love you, me.